Hello. So I'm going to give a review on the documentary, The Lost Century. This is a documentary with Dr. Stephen Greer, who many of you know, he's been working for decades to get the truth out about UFOs, but I prefer the term light ships, galactic beings, the real technology, the true technology that is out there, that has been out in the world for centuries, but it's been hidden from us. And this documentary, it's his third in this trilogy of films. Started with Disclosure, and then it started with his first film, Unacknowledged, then his documentary, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, and this is the third installment in the trilogy. This is the Lost Century documentary. So Dr. Greer had a movie premiere last night in Los Angeles. And so Dr. Greer was there. I was there as well. I did not meet him in person. However, I did get to see him in person as he spoke to us, the audience, before the film premiered. So that was very exciting. And he said a lot of powerful things, not only in his talk before the film, but also his talks during the film, inside of the documentary. So, he talked about dirty energy that pollutes our planet right now, which includes oil, gas, nuclear, and coal. And those are all energies that are dirty energies and are just keeping our planet polluted. And the most disturbing thing is that there's clean energy alternatives. I mean, 0 point energy of completely clean energy that would take away, wipe out, eliminate all of the pollution on this planet. And we've had this energy right here for over 100 years. However, that information has been suppressed from us. So we had this amazing inventor, Nikola Tesla, who invented this clean energy, which he wanted to distribute to the planet, to the globe, because he was a humanitarian. And so the government, of course, did not want this technology out to the masses because you have big companies, you have big corporations. You've got Exxon, Chevron, you have other companies that are, embedded in staying in an elite status and keeping all of these profits and greed for themselves instead of allowing a clean energy plan to be in effect for the whole entire planet to breathe clean air, to end pollution. So Dr. Greer covers this very expansively in the documentary, and I'm so grateful for it. And so I've got my notes, and I'm kind of referring back and forth. I'll be doing that throughout this review. And so what Dr. Greer said is within the next 2 months, Dr. Greer and his team are going to be filing lawsuits against corporations and people in the United States who have kept technology secret. And he's going to file those lawsuits because those technologies need to be made public. Also, he mentioned that there will be a new bill signed soon, and that is the bill is going to issue directives to corporations and to individuals that they comply with allowing the United States government to know what is happening in these underground illegal black operation projects that are currently supported secretly by corporations. So Dr. Greer also said that if there is no compliance from these corporations and from these individuals within 6 months after this, bill has been signed, then those individuals and those corporations are going to be prosecuted criminally. So this is big. This is really big. I pray that this bill gets signed like tomorrow, Monday. The other amazing thing that Dr. Greer talks about is that within the next 6 to 12 months, we are going to have full disclosure on the technologies that have been kept hidden from us. Like, this is really finally going to happen. Dr. Greer did say that if there is no disclosure from the outside, from people not including him, not including his team, but if the disclosure does not take place from the people that should really disclose this information, then Dr. Greer and some other people he did not name will step in and handle things. So that's a pretty big thing. And then finally, within the next 2 to 3 years, we will, according to Dr. Greer, we are going to have 0-point free energy. And that system is going to be openly sourced. There's not going to be any patents. This 0-point energy is going to be open to the entire globe. And also Dr. Greer, he talked about, with the 0-point energy, the technology, even if there's like new discoveries, new innovations, that these will be live streamed so that nothing will be kept from us. We will not be kept in the dark about any of these technologies any longer. And that brings me to something really interesting in the film, and it's about inventors and their patents. So I had no idea about this. This completely opened my eyes to something very, very sad and tragic and disturbing. So we've had inventors over the course of, like I mentioned, Nikola Tesla. So we're going back, over 100 years. And so many inventors have come up with these amazing ideas for clean energy that would be very little cost or free. They've been able to discover these ways to have, electricity come in through an input, and then the output of that electricity actually was a higher number compared to the input, which means that there was very little effort, very little power used to actually establish this electricity. And yet when this electricity was established, it was able to output even more electricity. That's exactly what we need, and it's already in existence, and it's being hidden from us. So the film was so powerful to talk about that. And then the other thing I learned about with these inventors, so here they've invented this amazing technology, but when they do that, they apply for patents. Well, those patents get reviewed and approved or denied. And what happens is these amazing invention ideas that are submitted for patents, they are reviewed, and oftentimes these patents are determined to be a threat to national security. So the patents are denied. Oftentimes these inventors have their inventions, their equipment seized, and they mysteriously turn up dead. So that was very disheartening and sad to hear. And, Dr. Greer, there's definitely been inventors that have come through his world, and he's wanted their technology to be out and, to help the planet, to help save our planet and ourselves. And these inventors they want to keep the secrets for themselves, and then they come to these untimely demises, and, all of that information is lost. So I wanted to cover that. And the other thing that, Dr. Greer is very passionate about each and every one of us also stepping in, and making a difference and taking a stand. And so Dr. Greer said the best way, a powerful way that we can do that is by writing to our senators, our Congress, and our president to let them know that these secret technologies have got to come out to the public, that we deserve to have the clean air. We deserve to have zero pollution. There are so many technological advances that we could end poverty. We could end starvation for the globe. We are one planet. We are all come from the same layer of consciousness through source. And yet these governments, these corporations, these individuals and operations are doing everything they can to make us stay suppressed and stay unhealthy with air. And some of these children and mothers and fathers and humans on the planet, some of them are starving, and that does not need to happen. So that's what we can do. And then the last thing I really want to talk about, which was very powerful for me to hear about in this documentary. So Dr. Greer said in the film he went to a facility in El Paso, Texas. And inside of that facility, their technology is so advanced that they can grow limbs of human beings. So let's say you have an accident, your arm is severed, your leg is severed. The technology is already here, right now, to grow a new limb for you, to grow a new leg, a new arm. This technology is already in existence. How many people are going to have to suffer before we have this technology out in the open? I'm so passionate about this film. I am so passionate about the amazing work that Dr. Stephen Greer is doing for humanity, for the planet. And just know that disclosures have been coming this year, and they are going to continue to come. We are going to get so many more disclosures the rest of this year. So buckle up, buttercups, because it's going to get bumpy. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you go see The Lost Century. It's playing, in some movie theaters, and it's also streaming. So you can just do a Google search. I use DuckDuckGo as my search engine. You can, just do a search for there of where to watch The Lost Century. And please do. You'll be glad you did. Have a beautiful day, evening, night, wherever your location is. Thank you. Bye-bye.